Greetings, everyone. I am Sartora Schumann-Smith, Manager of Programming and Community Engagement here at the CDC, and welcome to the CDC Experience. I am elated. I am beyond elated to interview my special guest today, and I'm going to let you know now that I'm a little biased because he's not only an amazing pastor here in the Tampa community, but he's my pastor. So I would like you all to welcome today Pastor Alan Harris to the CDC Experience.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Good to be with you this morning.
Thank you. I am so happy, as I said earlier, to have you here as our special guest here at the CDC Experience. And for those of you all who are watching, if you know someone who doesn't know about this show or know about the CDC, you can always log on to www.cdcoftampa.org to find our videos or to get more information about our programming. And you can also find us on all social media platforms. So, Pastor Harris, I'm going to start off about pastoring first.
Sure.
So how long have you been a pastor now?
So I just finished my third year at Beulah. My first Sunday was December 26th. I'll never forget the date because it was the day after Christmas. December 26th, 2021. So we just finished our third year, starting our fourth year here at Beulah.
Okay. Well, I am happy to be a member of Beulah Baptist Institutional Church.
I'm honored to serve as your lead servant.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. But why I wanted to bring you on the show, Pastor Harris, is because one, again, I'm biased. You're my pastor, and I think you're an awesome lead servant and an incredible speaker. But what I find most important for me, and I'm quite sure to others in the congregation or just people in the community, that you are a pastor who created the slogan for the church, that we are a movement and not a monument. And that, for me, really stands out as far as what I think. And I want to say I know the direction that you're heading or taking the church. So let me ask you this before I get to a bigger point. When did you realize that ministry should go beyond the pulpit?
Absolutely. So to answer that question, when did I realize that? Early on in my ministry was actually kind of learned it the hard way, in a sense of kind of being a part of churches or seeing churches that were so insulated, churches that were very inward focused. Yes. And so I'd always promised the Lord, I said, Lord, if you ever give me a chance to be a senior pastor, I promise that I'll implement some of those models that I've seen of churches that do an excellent job of being intentional about ministering to the community. Okay, well, you are doing an excellent job with that because I know for a fact that here at the CDC of Tampa, we've partnered with the Beulah Baptist Institutional Church. We were the recipients of the back to school supply drive. We're getting ready to participate in an upcoming event that the church is doing, and I won't say all of that because I'm going to let you talk about it. But I do know that not just you, but the entire congregation is very engaged in the community. So can you tell those who are watching, what are some of the things that the church has done to make their presence known outside of the four walls of the church? Absolutely. So first and foremost, even before I arrived at Beulah, we had our God Cares ministry, which is a ministry that goes out and feeds individuals who are dealing with hunger. So we have our God Cares ministry. Now, before I arrived, that ministry wasn't funded at all by the church, but since I've arrived, by God's grace, we've been able to not only fund that ministry, but increase the funding in the past 3 years since I've been here. So we have our God Cares ministry. We also have, we've adopted various schools in the community since I've been here. This year, as you know, we're turning 160 years. So one of the initiatives that the Lord laid on my heart in regards to the different schools in our community is we've selected 10 schools within a 5-mile radius of Beulah. And so we'll be giving a minimum of $1,600 to each one of those schools.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, 160. That's the magic number for the year. So, working with some individuals at the school board, so they identified 10 schools for us, and so with that we'll be giving out $1,600 to these different schools. Each school will get $1,600? Each school will get $1,600.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's really good.
We pray in the future we'll be able to increase the amount.
Of course.
Yeah, but got to start somewhere.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Again, I see the work that the church is doing under your leadership, and I am grateful to be a part of the congregation and to be up under your leadership. So again, I know that the CDC has partnered with you all, with my church, for the as the recipients of the back to school drive, school supply drive. So I know that's a big hit. It was definitely a big hit for us to receive so many items, and we're able to serve so many people. I know there's another big event coming up really soon. You and I were chatting about it earlier. Can you tell the viewers what that event is?
Absolutely. So we have, again, because this is our 160th anniversary, we have 4 major outreach events for the year, then some concurrent ministries going on as well. But to your question, our first major outreach event for 2025 is our community baby shower.
So you all heard that. Community baby shower at
shower.
Beulah Baptist Institutional Church on Saturday, March 8th.
Yes.
Saturday, March 8th. If you haven't heard anything about it, or if you want to know more about it, you can go to the church's website, which is...
Yeah, so you can go to our church website, www.bbictampa.com, and I can give a quick spill on it.
Please,
So it'll be March 8th. We'll start at 10 a.m.
Okay.
It'll be held at the A. Leon Lowry Center. And so we're going to have packages for all new parents or expecting parents. And so we'll be giving away diapers, we'll be giving away clothes, we'll be giving away bottles, just kind of some of the basic needs, some of the basic necessities that parents have for their newborns. Then in addition, we'll be having some what we call big ticket raffle items.
Okay.
So we'll be giving away some car seats. We'll be giving away,
wow, okay.
Yeah, some car seats. We'll be giving away some baby strollers, and we'll be giving away baby formula. So we know that baby formula can be expensive. So
I've heard.
yes,
And you would know.
yes,
with a new baby
yes,
at
yes,
your house.
yeah.
So I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So let me ask you, Pastor Harris, what are some of your big future goals for community outreach?
Absolutely. So future goals, even for 2025, one of our initiatives this year will be having a back to school shoe drive. And so again, with the 160, we'll be blessing 160 individuals, students, with new shoes for the school year coming up. Then in the fall, we'll be building upon what we did last year around what we kind of take the whole Black Friday concept, and then we instead kind of have a Black Saturday in a sense.
Okay.
So we transform the fellowship hall in the Lowry Center, and every item in the store is $5 or below.
Okay.
So, and when we say every item, we're talking about brand new bicycles, gaming systems, toys that you would find at Target for $75, et cetera. You can come to the what we call the Beulah Toy Shop.
Okay.
And everything within the store is $5.
You know what? I missed that Saturday. I was out of town.
Yeah.
And when I saw the pictures, I was like, wait a minute. I see bicycles. I see big things, like you said, big ticket items at this event. And I want people to know that these items are all donated by church members, correct?
Right, absolutely.
They are all donated by church members. So we're not going out and spending money, a lot of money, to do these things, which is great, which is wonderful. But that leads up to my next question. I see the enthusiasm of people when they come to church and they bring in the items that's been requested. And I didn't realize diapers were so heavy. Last Sunday, I was trying to lug in a bag of diapers, and it was like, oh my gosh. So we get excited when you ask things of us, but how do you motivate your congregation, or how do you motivate anybody to get on board with something that you're passionate about?
Beulah has actually kind of spoiled me in that sense. So when the Lord first called us here, one of the first things I did in 2022, I had 3 what we called pastor walk-in talks with the pastor.
Okay.
And so when we had the when we had the walk-in talks with the pastor, I just kind of gave the vision, kind of cast the vision for what I wanted the church to look like, what I believe God was calling us to do as a church. And so one of the major things that we emphasized is that we wouldn't be a church that was insulated, but that we would be a church that did ministry outside the walls. And so I wish I had a very deep and profound answer to your question, but just kind of laying out the vision to the church to say, hey, we're going to make sure that we are both intentional and strategic about ministering to individuals in our community. And so the church just kind of got on board with it and said, hey, we're behind you, Pastor. And so, of course, every year what that looks like and serving our community looks different, but the church just buys into it pretty much like, no questions asked, we're with you, Pastor. So you all make my job easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But you know what? I don't think there needs to be a profound answer, because I think when you're doing things from the heart and your intentions are, 100%, that I don't think there needs to be this big profound answer, because sometimes that profound answer will just go right over people's heads, or, people just want to know that I'm doing something good, that I'm under the leadership of somebody who's doing something great, and that I could be a part of it. And we talk about greatness, and I don't want to make you, I don't want to put you on the spot with this, and by saying greatness, but when I hear you speak, and you've spoken in so many different places outside of the church, you're you're the big ticket in the community. You're the big ticket. You're keynote speaking. You're doing this. You're doing that. But I don't know if anybody who hasn't heard you speak. You are such a profound speaker, and a teacher.
Appreciate that.
A teacher and a leader. And when I hear you, I hear Malcolm X. I hear Martin Luther King. I hear, just so many of Frederick Douglass, so many of our great orators from the past. So who influenced you? Where does this all come from?
Yeah, so of course I have individuals who we're all familiar with, who have influenced me. I take a lot of my kind of community philosophy from Marcus Garvey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Love Marcus Garvey
Okay,
and some
so
of
do I.
the
Okay.
some of the principles that he espouses to, from the concept of us really needing to look out for each other, kind of seeing us as a people bond together and come together to serve each other. Of course, I'm a huge Malcolm X fan.
Okay.
Of course, Dr. King as well. I've read many of his books. One individual who's not nearly as known as those individuals is a gentleman by the name of Dr. T-Bon Walker.
Okay.
And so Dr. T-Bon Walker was one of my doctoral advisors, and it was Dr. T-Bon Walker who really exposed me to the likes of James Cone, other individuals who espouse to Black theology. And so for those who are familiar with Beulah, right, we unashamedly teach Black theology, right? And so we often say, in the words of Dr. Jeremiah Wright, that, hey, we are unapologetically Christian, unashamedly Black, right? So our whole ministry philosophy at Beulah is about the Black church being a place of refuge, right? Where we come and have our heritage affirmed, where we come and appreciate who God has made us to be. So Dr. Jeremiah Wright, he's been a huge influence. Dr. T-Bon Walker, former professor at one of the seminaries I attended, had a tremendous impact in regards, not so much to my speaking, but more so to my ministry philosophy.
Okay. And Beulah is rich in history. We just recently did a video to celebrate Black History Month, and I know there's a lot of things going on in the community, but I am just, again, so proud to be a member of Beulah Baptist Institutional Church and under your leadership. But I know I was baptized by Reverend Dr. A. Leon Lowry. We talk about civil rights and we talk about community. You cannot go without talking about Reverend A. Leon Lowry. So I'm dating myself, everyone, because I was baptized by him, and I am always so fortunate to be a part of our anniversary coming up on 160 years, as you stated earlier. But just to know the rich history, and to be able to say that someone like yourself has come in and kept that going. So thank you for that, to keep the legacy alive. And so is there anything else that you'd like to tell me outside of, tell me a little bit about Pastor Harris. I do know this, so let me interrupt you before you even talk. I know that you're a huge Buccaneer fan.
She couldn't even say that with a straight face. You couldn't even say that with a straight face.
I couldn't even look at you. You notice that? But tell me about Pastor Alan Harris.
Absolutely. So, as much as I love pastoring, everyone knows that my family comes first.
Yes.
And so my wife and I, we will celebrate 19 years of marriage on March 25th. So next month we'll celebrate 19 years of marriage.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. And so as we'll celebrate 19 years of marriage, we have a son who will be turning 14 years old.
Okay.
And as you know, we have who we like to refer to as our blessed surprise, our daughter. She'll be turning 1 year old. So yeah, family comes first.
Yes, of course.
As much as I love ministry, as much as I love Beulah, nothing tops the love that I have for my family. As you mentioned, I am an avid sports fan, right? But I root for the right team, for the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
The team that beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs, just for the record. So yeah, I'm an avid sports fan. My son is an avid sports fan. He gets it from me, honestly. So he and I spend a lot of time watching sports, playing video games. Our family, we spend a lot of time together when work doesn't consume our time. Outside of that, I'm an avid reader, love to read about African American history and presidential history as well.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, today we have had Pastor Alan Harris of the Beulah Baptist Institutional Church as our very special guest, and we thank you all for tuning in to the CDC Experience. Check us out next month. I'm Satora Schumann Smith. Have a fabulous day.